Today we are testing what happens if you go below 0 ergonomics on your weapon in Tarkov. Oh my god, it's awful! Hello everyone, it's GigaBeef here, and what better way to test low ergonomics than with the SA58, because it's terrible to begin with and loads of ways to make it worse. Our gun here starts with 10 ergo, and if you try to add the drum mag it shows a reduction of 15, but when we attach it we get 0 shown as a minimum. So the question here is whether behind the scenes this makes a difference or if what we see on screen is actually correct. To properly test this, we'll need 2 versions of the same gun, ideally one with precisely 0 ergonomics as per the mods, and another with the lowest ergonomics that we can manufacture through the 0 bound. For this second weapon, we can add the SA58 quad rail and RK2, losing 9 ergo together, the AAC muzzle combo for a further -26, and the drum for -15. If ergo is lost through the 0 bound, this would result in a theoretical -40 ergonomics. Yeah, that's probably enough, right? For the first gun, it should be a bit easier. To get a perfect 0 ergo, I'm going to remove the compensator, add the SA58 quad rail as well so that we can get a sight on both of them. This is important to have the same optic for the purposes of testing the ADS speed, and then to use a saw grip to pop the ergo up a little to then bring it back down to 0 with the drum mag. The issue that we have here is that we can't just test these two against each other right away. ADS speed, which is what we're going to use as a metric for measuring the real impact of ergonomics, is determined by 2 inputs. Ergonomics, obviously, but also weight. If we don't get the weight of the weapons correctly matched, this will mess up the testing process. Our first weapon with precisely 0 ergo currently weighs 4.871 kilos, and our beefy boy with -40 ergo weighs 5.74. How do we square this circle? It all comes down to the 50 rounder. The beauty of having a high cap mag for this kind of testing is that an M80 round weighs 24 grams, and given that our weapons have an 869 gram difference between them, this means that we need to use 36 M80s in the first weapon to balance the weights without changing any of the stats. Also making sure that we don't have any helmets or armor on that fiddle with ergo either, and with 5 grams between our weapons we get into raid to do some testing. For once, this test is quite straightforward, as we have the same weapon, the same mounting point, and the same optic. We can determine the ADS speed based on the moment that the reticle comes into view. There are some small differences due to the way that the PMC sways the weapon around naturally, but as you can see from the 2 different comparisons, the 2 weapons perform next to identically. This would certainly not be the case if you could go below 0, and -40 ergonomics should make a massive difference. These clips are at full speed, 20% speed, and 3% speed so that you can see the exact moment the reticle becomes visible on screen, and it's a 1 frame difference with sometimes the left weapon getting there first and sometimes the right. So at least as far as the SA58 is concerned, going below 0 for ergonomics makes no difference to the weapon's handling at all. Given this, I think we can fairly confidently assume that this is the same for all guns, although Tarkov can be strange like that at times. What's the takeaway from this? If you're hitting the 0 bound for ergo, you may as well go crazy and add everything that you want to, such as suppressors and massive magazines. If it won't hurt the weapon's performance any further, then you have free reign to make point fire monstrosities such as this one. Next up, if you are wondering whether the loudness stat on the suppressor actually does anything, check out this video next where we test exactly that. As usual, a big shout out to all my patrons who are a huge support for the channel. Hit all the buttons if you enjoyed the video, and as always, have fun in your raids.